Trust and connection in the beginning will determine if you will build a good relationship with a stranger. Right? When you meet people, if you can build trust and connection very quickly, your social life will be amazing. But how do you do it? Watch till the end of the video to learn how to build trust and connection very quickly. Hello guys, welcome to Models of Excellence series, where we tell you tools, strategies, techniques and models to help you lead an excellent life. Have you ever met someone and you felt something was off? And then you did not talk to that person, you just started to ignore the person or move away from the person. Now, right there, you might have missed many opportunities, many collaborations. Right? You never know. It could have been a good friendship or a good business partnership or anything. And that is the exact reason why you need to learn this. The cost of opportunity. Now, some people, when you meet them, if you don't build connection, if you don't build trust, that's okay. But other times, certain people can help you grow. Certain people can give you opportunities that many other people cannot. At that moment of time, when you meet the right person, if you cannot build trust and connection, that's a big loss for you, right? So how do you do it? Before I give you the technique that you could use to build trust and connection very quickly, here's what you need to know. Why is there a lack of connection? What causes this lack or break in connection? When you meet someone, if you cannot understand them or they cannot understand you, there's a break in rapport, there's a break in trust, right? There's confusion and it just becomes very uncomfortable. Instead of really getting clarification, instead of really investing time into understanding, you are more comfortable with moving away and meeting another person. And this technique that I am about to tell you is the technique that will help you do this. It will help you speak information in a way where that person can connect, where the other person can connect, and it works with everyone. That's the amazing part about it. It works with everyone. So remember this, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And depending on the person, you just change how you say it. Now, how do you know when to change, or how do you know what to say or how to say it? Simple thing, okay? Remember, from this point onwards, it's very important, so pay attention. Now, this technique is called as representational system, or this concept is called as representational systems. This determines how people process information. So there are three types of people. Number one is visual people. Number two is auditory people, and number three is kinesthetic people. So your duty, what you need to do is to understand which representational type is the other person in front of you and match it. Now, how do you find out this difference? First one is visual people. Visual people are the ones who think in images. Now, how do you know that? One way you'll know it is they'll use words like imagine, see, right, vision. Now, I will put all the other words, the rest of the words, all the words that visual people use, a lot of them, you can find out in the description below. I'll put a link where you can find out visual words, auditory words and kinesthetic words, okay? So, visual people. Now, second cue or second way you can understand if a person is visual is by looking at their speed of speech. They tend to be fast talkers. Now, thinking in images is relatively quick, right? There are experts who say that people who think in images, they're a lot quicker. So, their speed of speech is relatively faster. Now, for example, me, I'm a visual person, which is why when I speak, it's a lot more faster. So that is the second way you can figure out. If they're speaking fast, you know that they are visual. The third cue or the third way to know if a person is visual is by looking at them. If they're very enthusiastic, if they're moving, if they're like, yeah, wow, amazing. If they start saying all these things, they're more visual. They're very enthusiastic. They're very you can make that out, right? So that is visual people. Now, how do you find out if someone is auditory? Auditory people, they use words like listen, hear, sounds like, and many more words. You can find the rest of the words in the description. So they use those words. Second way to figure out if a person is auditory is by listening to them speak. Their speed of speech is not too fast, but it's not too slow either. So one way to stereotype this is the typical professor kind of speaking. Hello guys, today I will be covering this concept, and this concept we will be looking at whether the molecules bond together. How do you know if these chemicals work? What is the structure of it? Right? What is the structure of benzene? What is the structure of HCl, H2O? That is something that we are going to be learning about today. Very blank, just very bland. Think of it as a baseline kind of a thing. Not too fast, not too slow. The third way to know is they're not too enthusiastic, they're not moving their hands and all that, but they're not very low as well. It doesn't make you feel like, oh. So it doesn't seem very low energy as well. So that's how you figure out if a person is auditory. The third part is kinesthetic people. Kinesthetic people are people who process information through feelings. They use words like feel, it doesn't make sense, and things like that, words like that. You can find the rest of the kinesthetic words in the description. Now, second way to figure out if a person is kinesthetic is to look at their speed of speech. Their speed of speech is a lot slower, right? A lot slower than auditory. And they speak like this, using words like it feels great to be making videos like this and to be training people on stage. Now their movement of hands or body movements are a lot lower than auditory or kinesthetic. They speak very, very slow, very low in energy. So that is kinesthetic people. Now these are all extremes, but you can figure out which is dominant. Now how do you figure this out? One, by looking at them, right? You can look at them and say, okay, the visual, auditory or kinesthetic by looking at these traits. The second way to figure out is to ask them to tell a story or tell something experience. Ask them an open-ended question. And how are you doing is not one of them. We are all conditioned to say, yeah, I'm doing all right, I'm doing good, how are you? So nobody will open up. Instead, for example, let's say I met you. You told me that you do a job. Let's say you're a scientist, you're a researcher. And I meet you, I'm like, hey, how are you doing? Yeah, I heard you're a researcher. I'm pretty sure it's very interesting. You get to learn about things, you get to go in depth about concepts which we never observe, which we never really think about. So what is your most favorite part of the job? And ask you, how is your job? I asked you, what is your favorite thing about your job? You can't really say yes, fine, all that. So when the other person starts opening up, figure out how they're speaking. Figure out how they match in visual, auditory, kinesthetic, and then match them, right? Match them. Now, let's say you are on a stage. You cannot connect with every single person in a different way. It takes way too much time. It's not worth it. So what can you do? So one thing you can do is mix all of them up. Visual, auditory, kinesthetic, speak in all three ways. Mix it up. And then you will see that you will be able to build connection or that trust with everyone very quickly. And this is exactly what public speakers do. If you really observe public speakers, they mix it up. They don't stick to one style till the end. At least the good public speakers. An important point is, people are not exactly visual, exactly auditory, or exactly kinesthetic. They're somewhere in between. Now, what do I mean by somewhere in between? What I mean is, certain context or for certain activities, one of them will be stronger for you. If you're listening to music, if you're recalling music, it's more auditory. If you are recalling an experience, it's more feelings or kinesthetic. if you are recalling images or some sort of a movie scene, it might be visual. So you might usually be stronger in one of them depending on the situation. So treat it as a scale, treat it as a very contextual thing. Okay. Now with that said, guys, go use it. It's amazing. It's fun to try this. Figure out which of your friends is visual, auditory, kinesthetic, and try connecting with them. With that said, imagine how amazing would your life be if you could keep getting these amazing tips. Sounds great, right? Now all you have to do is click that hit the like button and click subscribe, and also tap that notification bell. It'll make me feel good. It'll make me want to create more amazing content for you guys. With that said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.